Hey, what's going on, everybody? Got another video here for you. This one is a new piece I got. This is the newest Brous Blades Silent Soldier Framelock, and it's the newest version of that. This was a limited run that Jason did of just 100 pieces. I think they sold out within just a few hours when he announced them. I was able to pick one up or snag one pretty quickly, and it's pretty well known that I'm a big Jason Brous fan. Pretty much starting based off of this work, and then also with that Reloader collab they did with Mikkel Williamson. Both those two knives have just been huge hits, as well as like a number of his other ones. He's been coming out with other models too, which you've probably seen on my channel, and some new ones that I'll hopefully pick up as well. And I kind of enjoy sticking with him for a few reasons. One, it's pretty easy to, not easy, but when he says a knife's coming out, it does come out on time and it gets delivered pretty quickly. Now, there may be some instances where that hasn't happened for some people, but as far as I go, and most with him, he'll announce a knife is coming out, give some pictures, show maybe a quick video on his YouTube channel, or send them out to another knife reviewer to show. And then he'll put a pre-order out, you put in your deposit, and then you'll get an email usually a few weeks after that okay, the run's done, and send the rest of the money, and then you get the knife within a week or two. So it's pretty great that you can get stuff on time, the right quality, and it's a pretty business-like setup ordering system. So those are things I like too, is that, you know, they're all limited runs, so I enjoy that. I think the biggest run he ever did was the Bionics, and that was maybe 1,000 pieces, but most of the time it's usually 500 or 250 or something. And he's also doing a lot more options as far as like different finishes on the runs too. Anyways, I don't want to get off on a tangent on that kind of stuff, just giving a little background. The other thing too is the packaging. I wanted to open up with this. Yeah, I'll flick the knife out for you guys too, because I know that kills me when someone's doing a review and they don't open the knife for 8 minutes into the video or something. So there you go. You can see this one obviously is different with not having the hole in the middle. But give you a little view of the certificate here, the birth date of the knife, Jason's signature. It's a little nice electrically taped in there. And then this is number 63, which I actually was surprised I got that high a number. I thought I had ordered pretty early when he first announced it that the pre-orders are open, but I got number 63. This is called the Silent Soldier Framelock. I do wish maybe he had put maybe another note about it, since he did make a 30-piece run of Framelocks that had the hole in the blade, and this one obviously is the solid blade with the you know, grind work going on with the swedges and everything too, but it is just called, as far as the documentation goes, just a Silent Soldier Framelock, and then it's number 63 of the 100 run, which would identify it to an extent. And then you can see this really nice packaging that it came in, and that's another thing about Jason. He takes a lot of pride in his marketing, I'd say. If you look at his Facebook page, and he has a YouTube channel, he has an Instagram account, he does a nice job with the marketing, and part of marketing is packaging. And it is nice if you're paying a premium for knives, or you're paying a good amount of money, that they come in a nice package with a certificate. So that's what this one came in. It also comes, every knife I've ever ordered with them comes with several stickers. Like, here's a nice car sticker for the window. Here's a nice sticker to put on, you know, your Pelican case or some other kind of baggage, something like that. And to give you kind of a look at the evolution of his packaging, whenever you order, you usually get something in a box, but it has always had his label on it. And then when you open it up, there's the reclosable poly bags, his business card, and the other identifying certificates. I think at one time it sent one out with just like a pouch of some kind, not a pouch, but just like a velvet black piece of cloth around it, but they've always had the certificates and everything. From there, he then was putting them in those boxes, but then with these kind of pouches, you know, this one came with a cloth, pretty cool. And then when he sent the Bionics out, he had done them in these cool tubes. This was one of the very first groups of bionics he sent out, so I think after this he actually had either on the tube itself Brous blades, or a sticker was put on here that said Brous blades, or just Brous on there. And it was a tube that the knives came in and sat nicely, and there's a little piece of styrofoam on the later runs to even keep them more securely in place. But anyways, I just thought that was neat to show. I won't get too crazy on the review of this knife, because I obviously, if you go back in my reviews, you see that I have the older version of the Silent Soldiers, or the original Silent Soldier flippers, which are the liner locks. But I did want to give you guys a good look at this. It's a really, really well done piece. I was very pleased with it. You know, it is expensive. It was he listed them at these, I believe, at $3.99 for a full tie, you know, frame lock, hinderer, lock bar, stabilizer. It's a D2 steel blade, as all the steels are, which some people will love, some people will hate, and some people don't care either way. D2 is a solid steel. Is it a premium steel? No. It's a near stainless, so it's not a stainless steel. It's easier to resharpen than some other steels and holds an edge decently. So there's all the properties about it, and you know what? If you're buying from Jason, you know you're getting D2. So you have to either come to grips with that if you like his designs, or you can choose to do something else if you just can't deal with that. I mean, as far as price goes with it. But you can see that he has really mastered the D2. I haven't had any issues with the D2s as far as rusting or any issues. I use the Aegis knife solution anyways on all my knives, even the stainless ones. But the thing I love about his work is the satin that he does on these, because it's almost an orange peel satin to an extent. I don't know if you can get that out of this picture, but in the divisions that I've had from him, and some other, even the Reloader that I got in satin, it's like a satin, but it's not that grainy look. It has this kind of, I don't know, just there's something else about it as far as the contrast goes on. Even the flats to the you know, main edges and bevels. It came very nicely sharp, nice Wharncliffe blade. You can see this nice, I believe it's a blasted finish on here. I mean, it's not. Maybe it's like a stonewash blast. It's just a nice, clean, simplistic finish on the titanium. I really love the back spacers that he does. They're very seamless. He has the Brous blades through there. Pocket clip is nice deep carry. It sits in there nice. Just everything fits very well. Very good retention on here. And then you can see the really early lockup. I mean, the only knife I've ever had from Jason that had a later lockup was a blackout version of a Reloader. And even that was only maybe max 40%. But really, he's honed in on these early lockups. And, you know, there's no stick. Sits right in there. Very smooth. Perfectly centered. And I like to call the action on this one a thwack. When you open this thing up, it's very different sounding than the other Silent Soldiers or any of the other knives. Even other titanium frame locks I had, when you just listen to this. It's a nice, it's a treble with a little bit of a bass at the very end, but oh, it's great. I love the sound. I love the feel. This is definitely the smoothest Silent Soldier I've ever gotten. Not that the other ones aren't smooth, but because of the extra weight on this blade without the hole taken out, it definitely rides a lot better closing. You don't have to really give it any effort. You can see I release it, it drops, and then there's a really great detent on his knives. So I'll show you a really close-up closing of this. See, it just clicks right in. So when you have the other ones that had the holes in them, there wasn't a ton of weight on the knife, and it's already a short blade as it is, so there wasn't a lot to push against the bearings anyways to drop down. Just to give you a comparison, this is my stonewashed Silent Soldier liner lock, and just to give you a comparison on the sound too. Very different sound. Obviously this is liners with carbon fiber, but it's almost a little bit louder and more of a schnick sound than a thwack, I'd say. More of a clicking, you know, clicks right in. But you can see on this one, when I unlock the liner lock, it does drop, but you know, it takes a lot more to get it down. And that's not because it's, you could probably loosen the pivots a little bit or something like that, but it's just there's not a ton of weight to it, you know, with that hole cut out, and it drops in. And then to give you a look at the blackout version that I have too, same thing, liner lock. With the Cerakote, it changes the sound a little bit, and also when closing, it gives it a little bit stronger, or there's a little bit more tension on it when it's closing. It doesn't really have, or I would say, I guess resistance would be the right word. So you can, you know, disengage it, and it breaks free. But you can see I do have to shake it a lot more to get it closed. But the thing flies out. I mean, this action on here, combined the D10 on this one, combined with the Cerakote, which, you know, you have to put a little more emphasis on to ride through the D10 ball on there. When you do the push button on this, I mean, that thing just pops out. Now, as far as liking either having the hole and holding it like this, or holding like this, I have no problem. I feel a great purchase on the knife when it's in my hand this way. Even reverse grip wise, I feel like I have enough to hold on to it. Now once you get in here, yeah, this is the most tactical way to hold it, and you're totally locked in. But when you get into a piece like this, where it's a limited run, in this nice satin finish, and you can grip the knife fine like this, it's just a great aesthetic look to it, having that full blade, that nice wide look for such a small short blade. Really interesting. You know, I like it. I have no problem with the purchase here. Plus, you can put your finger here because you can see the edge does not start till out here. So even if you did want to choke up on this and even put your finger like this, I have no problem. You can see I'm gripping down really hard, and there's no issue. So it's just a very interesting look, and just putting it even like this, I mean, just, it stands out. It's unique. So I'll try to get this done in 15 minutes. I wanted to get it done in 10. I think I rambled a little bit too much in the beginning. But one other difference between these two, just so you can see, is the jimping and the swedge. Now you can see here, there is the swedge, but you don't see it across the top. Where on this one, I do like this look, this teardrop shape. It comes in and then goes out and has this nice thick point. This one still has a thick point too. You know, they're almost about the same. It's just an optical illusion slightly because of how this swedge is cut in here. Now because there isn't the hole, he was able to do this longer swedge, but you don't really get the effect of that in and out look. The other thing too is he changed the jimping, and this was something that he kind of identified as his own, and a lot of people did too, and loved. I mean, this jimping is excellent. It's great purchase on the finger. It doesn't cut or grab or anything, but it locks you in. There's just enough snag that you have. And then when you get here, he went kind of to the traditional, just slotted, short-based jimp. I understand that because there's no hole, you wouldn't normally choke up on this, where when you have this, obviously the jimping has to go out further because you are choking up. But if this wedge isn't going to be here like it is, and even with it he was able to take the jimping out, I just would have liked to still have this type of jimping on this knife. This wedge thing doesn't bother me as much, knowing obviously the difference in what he was doing here and putting the greater look on the side of the blade than going over the top. Thicknesses are about the same. See, back spacers pretty much line up. I like the look of this pocket clip, how it's embedded in the titanium, whereas here you can see it's through the slot in the carbon fiber, just two different ways of doing it, but I just like this look of how it fits in nicely like a puzzle piece. But other than that, they're pretty much spot on. Just the difference in the jimping there and that upper swedge, and then obviously this is the frame lock and this is the liner lock. You can see inside, this is number 63 as I showed you in the card. This one was number 3, and this one was number 318 of 500 on that run. So give you a nice look at all of them here. There you go. I'm sorry I make these videos a little long, guys. I don't have a lot of knife guys to talk to around here. I do, they are here, but I mean, I don't get to see them that often, so I get to my knife rants out on these videos and everything I like to discuss about them. So once again, I apologize I went long. Last thing I'll show you too is just a quick cut test with this knife, just so you guys can see it does have a nice edge and slices pretty well for being such a small knife. So there you go. Brous Blades Silent Soldier Framelock Special Full Knife No Hole Edition. And I will catch you guys later. Peace.